All right, let's just jump right in. What if I told you that you could build some seriously powerful, super valuable software, the kind of stuff businesses are paying tens of thousands of dollars for, and you could do it without writing a single line of code? Well, that's not some far-off future. It's happening right now, and it's creating this absolutely massive opportunity for people to build incredible businesses.
I mean, seriously, does that sound a little crazy? Building an app that would normally cost a company, what, 50 grand, maybe even more? Something that would usually need a whole team of developers and months of work? But here's the thing. With the right tools, this is exactly what's possible now. The game is totally, completely changed.
And here's why you should really be paying attention. We're talking about the market for AI-powered software as a service, or SaaS, and it's not just growing, it's set to explode. We're looking at a $45 billion market by 2027. That's not just a small trend, folks. This is a massive shift in how software gets made and sold. It's a huge wave, and you can either watch it or learn how to ride it.
So how is this even possible? Well, it all comes down to efficiency. When you use a no-code platform like Bubble.io, you're not just saving a little time. Developers are literally slashing their costs by up to 85% compared to the old way of doing things. Just think about that. It means you can build more, you can build faster, and for a tiny fraction of the cost.
Okay, but let's talk about the money, right? What's the real potential here? For the folks who really dig in and master this space, we're seeing incomes hitting $100,000 a month. No joke. This isn't just a little side hustle. For a lot of people, this is a full-blown, modern-day gold rush.
So you might be thinking, okay, I'm in, what do I need? Let's talk about your no-code toolkit. Think of these as the pickaxe and shovel for this new digital gold rush. They're simple, but incredibly powerful.
And this really just lays it all out, doesn't it? The old way of building software was just slow. It was crazy expensive, and you basically had to be a coding genius to even get started. The new way? It's fast, it's affordable, and it's all built on no code, which just throws the doors wide open for so many more people to get in on the action.
And you know what? Your essential toolkit is surprisingly simple. You don't need a million different things. First up, you'll need a Bubble.io professional plan. That's kind of like your digital workshop. Second, an OpenAI API key. That's what lets you plug in all that incredible AI magic. And third, you'll want ChatGPT Plus. Trust me, it's like having a brilliant co-pilot sitting next to you, helping you figure things out and build way faster. That's pretty much it.
All right, let's get to the fun part, actually building something. We're going to walk through a really simple map that'll take an idea from just being in your head to being a real, working AI app. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. Okay, but before you start building, there's a huge concept you need to get, and it's called an MVP, or Minimum Viable Product. Now, this is key. It's not about trying to build every single feature you can dream of right out of the gate. Nope. It's about building the most basic, core version of your product, just enough to test your idea with actual customers and do it as fast and as cheap as you can. It is by far the smartest way to start.
So, building that first app really boils down to 4 key steps. Step 1, plan and wireframe. Honestly, this is where you win or lose the game, right at the beginning. You have to clearly define the problem you're solving. 2, build your features in Bubble and plug in the AI. But remember, only build what's absolutely essential for that MVP. Don't get distracted. 3, add a subscription system. Something like Stripe is perfect. This is how you prove that people will actually pay for what you've built. And finally, step 4, launch it and get it in front of real users. See, it's a very clear step-by-step process.
All right, now for the part I know you've been waiting for. Once you get the hang of this building process, how does that actually turn into real money? Like life-changing income? Let's map out the path from that very first project to building a business with consistent, recurring revenue.
Look, your income is going to grow as you get better and as you start tackling bigger problems. When you're just starting out, as a beginner, you can totally expect to make somewhere between $5,000 to $12,000 per project, just for building solid MVPs. Then, as you get into that intermediate level, that number jumps up to 12 to 25 grand for more complex apps. And then, the advanced level. We're talking developers who are commanding $75,000 or even more for a single project. These are the folks building enterprise-level stuff that pushes their monthly income well into the 6 figures.
And listen, this isn't just some made-up number on a slide. Let me tell you about a real person, Marcus T. He was a marketing manager, no coding background. He learned this stuff, built his first AI SaaS app, and now he's consistently pulling in between $8,000 and $12,000 every single month. This is a real-world example of just how possible this is.
But you have to remember, those one-off projects, they're just the beginning. The real wealth, the thing that gives you freedom, is built through recurring revenue. We're talking about things like monthly maintenance contracts, charging for new feature add-ons, white labeling your software so other companies can sell it, and even taking a piece of the pie, equity, in the cool startups you help build.
Okay, so let's say you've got the skills down. You know the potential is huge, but there's one big question left, right? Where on earth do you find the clients? Let's break down exactly how you turn this new skill into a real paying business.
So, when you're just starting out, you've got a few really solid options. A platform like Upwork is awesome for beginners because you can start building up your portfolio and getting some reviews. Fiverr can be the absolute quickest way to land that very first paying gig. But listen, if you're chasing the highest value projects, nothing, and I mean nothing, beats direct outreach. That's where you find companies you want to work with and show them exactly how you can solve their specific problem.
And that brings me to the absolute secret of a winning pitch. Please, do not just make a list of all your cool features or talk about the fancy tech you're using. Nobody cares. Focus 100% on the client's problem and how your app is the solution. You're not selling a service, you are selling a solution. That little shift in mindset, it changes everything.
So, there it is. The tools are here, and they're easier to use than ever before. The market is absolutely exploding. The opportunity to make some serious money is very, very real. So I guess the only question left to ask is, what are you going to build?